there, and welcome to the Glow Up Method. This is the place, this is the space for you to discover who you are, to live a life that you are meant to live, one that makes you proud and aligns with your inner child and your outer adult, and making this magical, wonderful, one chance as we know it at life that we get. Hi, my name is Natasha, and I am truly so grateful to be here with you today. Hi there. I am now currently 1 month, 4 weeks to the day since my surgery, and man, it's been a whirlwind. I know when I go through anything on here, it's like the local obsession, and you're like, all right already, I've heard enough about your surgery. All right, and already I've heard enough about Chris. All right already, I've heard enough about this kid. But this is my life, and I'm going through and I'm trying to navigate how to do it in a way that makes me proud. And so when I do things and it don't really align with me, well, that's when it's time to do some, retrospective work. And, like yesterday, I really didn't have a whole lot of expectations. Like I said, I was really spoiled. It was definitely in my top 2, definitely top 3, definitely top 5 Mother's Days overall. It was like a Mother's Day weekend. It started on Friday, getting my toes done and a beautiful massage and pedicure. I spent time outside in the sun. I went to a bucket list item, Fioli Gardens, and got to explore the house and the gardens, and it was lovely. Chris and I made food together, and I love pizza, still do love it. I don't know what it is. So we made pizzas, and they were my favorite kinds, and they tasted great after that because we were tired and at home. We got some shopping done at Costco, which I know doesn't sound fun, but we got the things done so that on Mother's Day we didn't have to go shopping, or he didn't have to go. We had spent family time together. We played a board game. I did not win, but the little guy did, so that was good. And we had a family dinner. And so when we sat down to dinner, I kind of got upset because my daughter suddenly wasn't here anymore. And like part of the entrees, like the side dishes weren't ready because she was assisting with it. And it was just like my parts of it was all messed up. And I got so frustrated. I was like, what the heck? Like, this is the one thing I asked for. And I wanted my whole family together. Do you know that even though we all live together, I don't even remember the last time we all sat down. And like, that was something we did every day almost without fail, was have dinner together. But between streaming schedules and content creation schedules and school schedules and practice schedules and work schedules and schedules with boyfriends and girlfriends, it just doesn't happen. And so I was like really looking forward to that. And then she had gone to the store to buy herself something, and my food was cold, and it was like a filet mignon, and nobody wants to eat a cold filet mignon. Like, it was just like, I was really just disappointed at first, and I was kind of cranky and seemed really just unappreciative of it. And so I didn't like the way I felt, and we went through dinner and I didn't discuss it then, and it was just like it didn't go as planned. And eventually she came, and I was just like, it's not her Mother's Day, like this is all I wanted. And I felt really like complaining. And last night I started thinking about it, and I got really sad, and I was gonna send a message, but I was like, don't send it today because you're gonna end up crying. And I had already done way too much for the day, and I didn't have crying allocated to my abs. Like, they were like my underneath my abs. I don't know what it is. The skin, it was hurting. My stomach was hurting. Pulled my drain really hard. Like, when I was in the hospital the last day, I inadvertently pulled out my IV, and I swear if the thing wasn't this long inside of me, I would have inadvertently pulled out this drain because I yanked that dang thing so hard, I like screamed. And so, I just was very, very exhausted. And when I'm exhausted, like, I feel really vulnerable, and I felt really sad because felt like I was ungrateful for the people that did show up. Why were the people that weren't there, or didn't get the memo, or whatever it was, or didn't listen when I was very specific about how I wanted my stinking Brussels sprouts? Like, why are the people that are there? Why are the people that are showing up that wish there was more of, not getting the attention, versus what was going wrong was getting the attention? And so obviously sitting through dinner, it shifted. We all went around the table. We did our conversating and stuff like that. and which was great. And so I had to do some like soul searching, and then I sent an apology this morning. I had explained to them, something that I didn't. It was an expectation that I had, but I didn't quite clearly articulate it, I suppose. And I know for my daughter, she just wanted to go see her boyfriend. She didn't, drive herself there. She had him come pick her up instead of being like, hey, I want this. He could pick it up, knowing we had dinner, but no, they had to go there together. And who knows, like, whatever, it just is what it is. But why did they get more attention than the people that were there? And so I really just reiterated that it's been a really hard month on me. It's not just been hard physically, it has really tested my character. It has challenged me when I'm exhausted, tired, and weak to ask for help, to reap the consequences of when I do too much myself and don't want to ask for help, or feel like somebody else's convenience is more important than mine. And so I know that this has been taxing on us, and it's just a challenge because I was so used to this new Natasha and new Chris, but when things kind of crap hits the fan, your default settings, man, they are so freaking powerful. They take over. That autopilot clicks on, and and I'm saying it goes both ways, because I know he's exhausted. He's taking on more than he usually does. Plus he was unwell, and you compound it with so many different things, and it's really hard because I have this like challenge. And some of the things that I really like loved about the new Chris and the new Natasha was the safety in being honest and vulnerable. And for the last few days, like, he's been here and helping and doing all these things, but it's like he just looks mad, and he looks like he doesn't want to be here, and like the tone of his voice is very short, and it puts me in that place again. And I don't want to be in that place. Like, and I know it can't always be butterfly sunshine and roses, right? That's not reality. Like, I'm not always on a 10, but I'm really struggling with how do I communicate that. So before I went ahead and filmed here, I sent Chris a message and just said, I'm really struggling with the way you're talking to me. And I keep saying, like, why are you mad? Like, you're mad at me. And he's like, I'm not mad, and it's really hard on me. And, like, I don't know what that means. And I don't know how to navigate that space, because it's like all I know is like stuff that's very good or very bad. And when it's like, when I feel like this, when I feel unsafe, or when I feel like a burden, like today, typically he takes Tyler to, he has a practice, and last week he couldn't because he wasn't well. And I think the week before, maybe he did, or the week before he probably did. I don't remember. And then, his friends were, whatever. So I did it last week, and I think the week before he had something happen, or I don't know, like he hasn't been able to, he was unwell one week, and then one week he was stuck in traffic, or some, obviously things that were both out of his control. And so, but I had really overdid it this weekend, and I had a lot of fun while it lasted, but I've been exhausted today, and my stomach's been bothering me. My leg has been bothering me. So I have just been vegetating. I have been literally just staring out a window. I'm not on my phone really. I mean, every once in a while I get kind of bored and I grab my phone, but I've been trying to just sit in place, not use my brain, not do anything. And I asked him, can he take Tyler to school? He said no. Or pick him up from school. He said no. And he said okay. And then I asked, are you taking him to his practices? And he was like, I could. Or Tyler asked him, I think he said something like, I could, but I'm doing something, and it'd be better if somebody else could, i.e. me. Maybe he thinks that he can get a last minute friend ride or something. I don't know. But so I messaged him and I said, I just want to be clear, am I taking him to and from practices? And he just called me, and he was like, well, I'm working on something right now, so yeah, I mean, I'm trying to minimize how much driving I have to do, so yeah, it would be better for me. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't been feeling well today. I've been resting, but I will do, whatever it is I got to do so that you can do whatever you got to do. And he's like, well, if you're not well, then I'll just take him. Forget it. And then I was like, forget it. I'll just do it. I don't get that chance. Like, as a mom and as a mom of 4 kids, like, and as a person who has my personality, I don't get to rest. Like I said, when he had the common cold, he was home rested, laid out for 5 or 6 days, not caring about or tending to anybody else but himself. I'm over here recovering from major surgery at the same time, and I'm still ordering groceries, cooking food for myself, cooking food for them, getting things done, asking them to clean, like taking care of them, paying bills. There's no rest for me. And so I just said, I was just trying to rest, but I don't, that's just not in my lot of life. Like, things happen. Like, the first few hours home from surgery, I'm taking him to school. A few hours later, I'm taking him to PT. A few hours later, I'm taking him home. Yeah, should I be driving? Probably not. I'm not on pain meds or anything. But the fact that I'm like in so much pain, every bump was just excruciating. And having to sit there in the car while he was in physical therapy and sit there in the car, like, it's hard to get in and out of this big truck and do all these things, and it's just it's difficult when it's like I tend to train people that I will be inconvenienced so that you don't have that that you're not inconvenienced. Like, he doesn't have to, he can mitigate how much driving he's doing, and he can fix this computer for somebody else, all at the cost of me. And I know that that's not how his thought process is, but ultimately, I'm guilty in that, because I'm saying, no, I'll just do it then. Because I do live closer to the facility. It's like 5 minutes for me, where for him, he's got to drive 10 to 15 minutes here, then 5 minutes to the place. Then he typically sits there. And then either way, or maybe that's why I was like, well, maybe you can take him home, because he could drive the 15 minutes there, then drive him the 5 minutes here, and then go back home or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, well, if the computer is going to your client today, then of course, like, finish it up. But if he's not picking up his computer, I mean, I don't want to suffer for no reason. Like, if you're just doing it because you want to get it done quicker, but he's not getting it, then there's no point for me to suffer. So, and he's like, what is it you want me to do? And I just was like, sat there quietly, and I thought about it, and I thought about what I said, and I thought about what he was saying, and I thought about the tone, and I was just like, I'm going to go. I'm just going to go, because I don't know. I'm feeling a little sensitive as it is. I'm tired. These are my, my perfect storms for me. I'm hurting. I'm not in a place where I can go and participate in some of my natural self-care, stress relieving things. I did get a beautiful weekend that was filled with love, beautiful cards, beautiful words, messages between people I cared about. It was great. I love it. Today has been rainy and it's pretty windy, so I'm probably not going to get my daily dose of sunshine in, but I had a lot of flowers. I mean, I did a lot of things that fueled my soul in alternative ways than my own self-care. And so over the weekend, so my tank is pretty full, but I'm still very drained. I'm just tired. My body is still healing, and I act a lot of times like it isn't, right? Like, and the people around me are seeing how I behave, and they're like, oh, she's good, she's better now, but I'm not quite there yet. And I know some people are at this stage in the game. For me, that's not the way my journey has been, and I'm trying to get there as fast as I can, but it's tough. And to think, like, I'm tired right now. I could totally take a little rest. I could take a nap. I could take off my binder. I could do some more massaging of my stomach. I could do the things that take care of and nurture me. But I don't have any support system as of right now for, Chris to do that. He elected to do the computer at his house. I'm sure he had a valid reason, tools, whatever the thing is. He could have did it here, but, his choices are his choices. Maybe he needed a break too. I don't know his story. Um, I just, yeah, I'm just struggling a little bit right now with the way in which I allow people to talk to me. And it's funny, like I say, like I wouldn't let a stranger talk to me this way. I'd be like, excuse me, like, what is going on? Why are we talking to me this way? But then something suddenly happens, and it's these people close to me, and I allow them to speak to me in ways, and I probably speak, listen, out of full disclosure, I am 100% confident I speak to them, snappy and sassy at times too. Listen, I am full aware of that. I'm not like over here with my little angel halo and, this is the result. No, but I just am like, processing as we're on here. I am not in a position to go back to the old me. I work really hard to be this version of me I want to be. And it's very challenging to be triggered and have to work through it. And so a lot of this journey has been something that's triggered an emotion, a memory, a unhealed wound. And then what is it Natasha does with it at that point? Like, what do I do at that point? Do I choose to go into my default settings? And sometimes I do. And I fail in a sense, and then I learn, like last night, and I sent my kids a message and Chris and said, first off, like, thank you so much for everything. Like, it was a beautiful day. Like, I'm so appreciative of everything. I don't like that when I started dinner complaining and ungrateful, because I was very grateful for the people that took the time to prepare it and the people that took time to sit down and share it. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And so, I want to learn. And for that, like, even though it began as a fail in my eyes, and then there was a lesson, and then there was a win, because there was a reconciliation. There was a realization. What was going on with you, Natasha? Like, why were you being so pissy? It wasn't even hangry. Like, if it was hangry, like, okay, get it. But it was just like, I was hurt. I was really hurt because I just wanted my family all together, intact. Actually, I think it's been a few Mother's Days since that's even happened. A lot of times my kids have been out of town or things have happened, and I'm like, it's fine, it's okay, like, don't worry, I know you love me. Like, it's not, we don't have to always celebrate on the day. And then there's never another day to celebrate, like, it just is the way life goes. We get busy and caught up, and next thing you know, we forget. And so, it's really important for me right now, and for you, like, if something is going on, like if you're behaving in a way that once you step out of it, you're like, wait, whoa, like, I don't like yelling at people. Like, that is the old version of me. Or I don't like feeling small and little or in trouble because I'm asking somebody to help me who has offered their help while I'm in surgery. It's not like I'm sitting here doing nothing by choice. It's not like I'm sitting here laying and asking for help for no reason. Like, I'm pushing the boundaries of what I can do, often too far, and to my own detriment sometimes. And, these resources around me have offered their help, and I'm getting the courage to say, yes, I need it. And it's really difficult, as I said, to like be confronted with their work, like the repercussions of me asking for help or saying, I can't drive Tyler today. Like, I'd love to myself, but I'm sore and I'm tired, and every bounce, like, you don't realize how many potholes are on the ground or sewer drains or sticks, or are on the ground until you drive over them and your insides feel like they're ripping open. And I have no other description other than that. It hurts to laugh. It hurts to cry. It hurts to sneeze. It hurts to cough. It hurts to bounce, like, however it is. And especially in a vehicle. So there's seatbelts that are on incisions. There's drains hitting the thing. Like, it's difficult. And I know he doesn't want to spend that much time driving, and he's in the middle of something. And when he's in the middle of something, he likes to just get it done. I get that. He doesn't like to be interrupted. And most of his life, he's had that privilege. Hey, I like that too. But I'm a mom, and I'd like my healing process to not be interrupted. But that's just the way it goes. And And that's the way the mom I am. So I say all this to say, if something is going on, ask yourself the questions with curiosity. Don't be like, oh, I did it wrong. I messed up dinner. Why did I do that? No, ask yourself curiously, what's going on? Like, why were you so upset? Oh, your feelings were hurt. And so you lashed out, but you fixed it. Like, you went around, and it doesn't mean it makes it better or okay, but you learned the lesson. You did everything you can. You apologized. You reiterated you were thankful that they were there, and that's all you can do. And so I say all this to say, don't be hard on yourself. If something's going on, like, don't hide from it. Speak your truth, speak your honesty, and deal with whatever is going to happen from there. It's better to know and live a life of authenticity than to not know and live in a fearful, fake way. So I say all this to say, please, please, please go out there today, give yourself a big old smile. You know what I'm saying. I'm saying flip that camera around. I'm saying pull down the visor. I'm saying look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Whatever you got to do, your reflection of you on your car, on a building, give yourself a big old smile and give yourself a huge, huge compliment. Today, my compliment is this. I am so proud that I am learning to embrace the body I have now. It is a challenge. It is a challenge to not see the impurities and the imperfection. I think because it was wrapped up in a surgery, and typically when you do a surgery, you're looking for an improvement. You aren't realizing that things often get worse before they get better. And so I am not like the 90% of the patients that I have seen posting where there are these beautiful flat bellies that are already in bikinis. I am not there. I may never be there. And I have body dysmorphia. So what I see, maybe not what other people see. And I work really hard at now in this opportunity, just standing in front of the mirror with nothing on down there and embracing this new body, getting accustomed to it, telling this body, I love this body. It can release this fluid we don't need, but if it needs it for the healing, then by all means, keep it. So that is my compliment to myself today, is really embracing my new body and who I am and however it shakes out. Like, I am so proud of this body for all the work that it is doing in here. And then I would ask you to please, and now share your beautiful smile, share your beautiful joy with somebody else in this world. Give somebody else a big smile. It could even be virtually. You can send an emoji, text, letter, however you got to do it if you don't see someone in person, or maybe you're too shy. And then also give them a compliment. Actually, I loved, they went on the table and they said, what are your favorite things about your mom? And my daughter did say one thing, and she said she always says something very nice about somebody. And so I really appreciated, like, that was noticed. And like the themes within my cards from the kids were beautiful and really resonated with who I believe I am and who I represent in this world now. My cards sounded very different before, but this aligns with exactly who I want to be. And that makes me so proud to read that is what is reflected out in this world. So I say all this to say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so proud of you. I adore you. I thank you. Keep up the amazing work. Keep questioning why it is you're feeling certain ways, and then learn from your failures and turn them into big old wins. So thank you so much. Mwah. Bye.